Welcome to the Change Show. On today's episode, we're going to be in conversation with a young guy who's very passionate about young people, who has worked with young people over the years and has seen some level of transformation happening in their lives. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Well, like I said, we're going to have a guest with us today, and he's no other person but my very good friend Mark Wilson, and he's here to just share a light on how has his involvement with youth ministry been working with young people. So he's going to be using faith, relationship, culture, lifestyle, and society as a yardstick to show us how has these areas influenced the lives of young people that he's been working with. So, Mark, welcome.
Thank you, Chance. You caught me by surprise, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, let's just get right into it, right? So, how has it been working with young people over the years?
How has it been? I would like to rephrase it by saying, how has it been working with you over the years?
Okay.
Because, I'm a young person, and
Sure.
I'm actually reflecting who I am to the young people, and I'm reflecting how God works with me to the young people. So my involvement with young people is based on a testimony, from a testimony perspective.
Sure.
So that's how we can better understand them, know what they're thinking, because we ourselves were thinking the same way.
Okay.
Like I always say to them, I'm no better than you, I'm no bigger than you. We have the same experiences every day. It's just that God has given me a certain advantage because of how well He pushed me in His presence. So it's actually been adventurous, and it has been something very, very, very good, and I am blessed and I'm privileged.
Yeah. So if I can just rephrase what you're saying, or just sum it up, you say that you see yourself in young people.
Yeah.
So that's what make you to be able to relate to them.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's very good. So like what we're here to discuss, right? Faith. How faith is influencing the young people that you're working with. Let's start from faith, and then we'll come down to your rest here. So
okay, so how faith is influencing the young people that I'm working with.
Yeah.
Faith is everything for them. Because I work with them every time, mostly my one of the most ways I work with them is, one-on-one.
Okay.
Even though I talk to them generally, but then one-on-one is even more effective and efficient, and that's one of the things I really love. Faith is everything for them, really. I want to say faith, from experience I've had with some of them, talking with them one-on-one, faith is the transformational point when they're alone. Mostly young people has a way of putting a face whenever they're in public, but then when they're alone, that's when faith takes effect. So faith is that place where they are transformed, where they meet God in person, where no one is around, and they meet God in person. And the good thing about this is everything we've been saying in the public, everything I have been saying in the public as it relates to faith is based on relationship. And the relationship is reflected at their point of transformation, because at that time I'm not around, even though my voice is clicking, but I'm not around, and Jesus is the one who is reinforcing, and then they can see God Himself, and then they can be transformed. So in the public, they don't show me that they're being transformed, and when I first started, young people, they're very, very much interesting. When I first started teaching young people, every time I come, you prepare something going, say, yes, this one will hit.
Yeah.
And then I noticed they were still the same, and then I asked myself, this even taking effect? But when few started coming back to me and telling me, when I said one-on-one, then I realized, a young man told me, I've been having so many confusion, but when I started talking with you one-on-one, when you weren't around, then these things started to take effect. I said, oh, okay. That's where God is taking it. So faith is relationship.
Okay.
And that relationship is everything for them. Because it is at that point when parents is not around, no B person is around, their peers is not around, it's just they and God. And that's what changed them for the better.
Okay, so faith is the transformational point, like you said, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you said is that one-on-one interaction that you have with them, that and then that makes you to understand that okay, this what I'm sharing with them is making impact, or like I'm seeing my work being manifested, right? And then not like you are the one who is working within them, but then you are seeing certain level of transformation taking place within their lives, right?
Sure.
So okay, so like you're saying, so faith, and then we'll come down to relationship, right? So does faith give room to relationship, or relationship gives room to faith?
I like that, bro. I like that. They're intertwined.
Okay.
They're intertwined. I would like to say faith. And let me just make it clear. I have a relationship with Christ. So obviously I'm a Christian. I preach Jesus. I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's
Yes.
what I do.
Yes.
So I would like to say faith because I'm saying it from the background that we didn't find Jesus. He found us
Wow.
and built a relationship with us.
Yep.
So it begins with Jesus, and faith, the basis of faith is Christ meeting us, is Christ befriending us, is Christ. It's all about Christ. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Then where we are involved is when the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Then faith becomes effective, faith grows, faith, gets strong in us based on relationship. So they're intertwined, but it starts with faith because it is Christ who found us, who saved us while we were yet sinner, and then he gives us relationship that every time we want to become him because we love him. So that's just what it is, bro.
Wow.
I hope
Wow.
I hope I'm helping here.
Yeah. just like
Sure.
blew my
Yeah,
mind.
seriously.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That was absolutely wonderful, because one thing I wanted to establish, right, is like people try to mix the both, right, and so okay, you have to have faith before you have a relationship, or you have to have a relationship before you have faith. So like what you said, they are like twin. They come from they're born of the same mother. They were all developed in the same womb. So that's perfect.
Sure.
So okay, faith, and then we've dealt with a relationship, right? Then that culture. Like let's
I think you're making me sound in relationship. Are you not talking about Jesus? You gotta begin and get a point.
yeah.
No, but anyway, it's a whole broad topic, and gradually we'll be able to talk about it. And that's the interesting working with young people, because at times, even when you're talking with they get in, and sometimes they get on like, I'm like, are you serious?
Well, yeah, like
okay.
yeah. So that's wonderful. So like we come down to culture, like in our current dispensation, culture has influenced a lot of things, and then it has its toll on our religion.
Sure.
So if we're trying to narrow down these things, right, the culture and the relationship and all that stuff there, right, if we're trying to narrow it down, how can we relate it to faith? So like we have they say, okay, pop culture, we have rap culture, we have this other culture, all that thing. So how does it reflect Christ in young people's life?
So okay, we have rap culture. Thank God in Akabe music, so we do rap,
Yes.
we have pop culture and all of that, but I'm talking about Christ culture here. Okay, so yeah, sure.
Wow.
So culture is always having an influence as it relates to faith. Because okay, faith okay, the main reason why Christ came to us is to give us a way of life and not to give us acts. We're not actors.
No, not at all.
It's to
Yes.
give us a way of life.
Yes.
And culture is a way of life. It's how things work for people within a particular location. So you will notice, for example, we have to go to school, we graduate from school, we get a job. That's the culture, because that's how things work. So Christ's culture is okay, this one, that's how you get close to me, that's how your faith remain consistent even though you're pushed by struggles and all of those things. So but as it relates to culture, how we do things, it has always been connected to faith. Let me just say something. When Jesus was born, he went through culture. He went through culture. Like he went he was born, and from his childhood, he was taken to the temple. Even when he was 12 years, when they went to the temple to, I think to worship or to give their offerings and other things where he lost and all of those things, it was culture in play. But what can I say? What I can say here is, how can your culture, which is your way of life, reflect your faith? And the main reason why it's doing it is not just because you want to do something or you want to please people, but I can always say this to young people: at the end of our life, it should be we and God standing, and not so many things that has clouded our mind that we cannot see God. So I think we should be able to think about this. So culture has always influenced, because culture is almost like the automatic point in us that we just do things, we don't think. We don't have to think about doing it. We just do it. Right. So every time as we go about looking at the various cultures, like one of the cultures I grew up with, and thank you so much to my mom, every day, every Sunday, I must go to church.
Yeah.
If I don't go to church, I love her, bro. That's good. And that was one of the things that brought me into a relationship with Christ.
There's some African parents will even say you're not eating that day.
That thing there. I have to go to church.
Definitely.
And when I was a kid, she taught me a prayer. I can still remember it. And even at this old age, I still pray it to it. And sometimes I laugh at myself.
Yeah.
And, those are the culture. I just want you to think and know that culture always reflects our faith. Culture and our faith is in relationship. So whatever culture that you have, that is not going to make, at the end of your life, you and Christ having to stand together, I think it's going to have a problem with your faith. Which one do you want? Do you want to have a problem with you and God standing, or you want to move with you and God being together?
So what you're saying that any culture that doesn't point you in the direction of Christ, it has a problem, and you need to check it.
Yeah. But culture is very important.
Yes.
Go to church every Sunday, go to church every time, go for Bible studies. Those are culture to bring you closer to God.
Yes.
So it has always, where it worked during Jesus' time, it's working now.
Yes. Wow.
Like I can say, when let me just give this testimony of mine. I love God. That's why I always want to tell people about God. But one of the things that really brought me to God was the culture of coming to church every time. And every time I came in the council, in the gathering of believers, I always learn new things. The point is, coming every time is not what gives you the new things. The thing is, you need to be hungry for Christ. I was always around friends who wanted Christ, who knew Christ, who discussed Christ, and that hunger grew in me. And God met me at that point because of the culture of coming to church every Sunday.
Yes.
So let your culture be a way of life that Christ is bringing to you.
Wow.
So that's just what I have to say about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. bro. You're blowing my mind right now. Like there's these are things that I didn't even take into considerations, right? So that's why this kind of conversations is necessary in the arena of young people, to be able to broaden the minds of young people. Young people better relate to themselves than other like older folks and all that stuff. So,
and like you say, young people better relate. Christ is. I want to use the what we gotta do, squeegee and other thing. Christ is a God, man.
Yeah.
He knows what's going to bring us closer, and He become that for us. You remember, He died so that we can be saved.
Yes.
He knows that young people relate to themselves. That's why every time He relates to them, He tells them, "I am you. You're me. So relate to you." In other words, relate to me in you. And that's what saves us.
Yeah.
Some of the things that transform me and all of those things, I didn't hear it out there.
Yeah.
It was because I relate to the person from within.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, God, the man is good,
like that's why I was telling somebody the other day when we're having a little chit chat, and I said, like, when we were talking about Christ and His return and all that stuff, then people say, oh, like, Christ said he's going to prepare a place, right? And then He's going to come and take us there, right? So I made an analogy, right? Like, you are my friend, right? And then we go to a party, right? And then I come and introduce another friend to you, right? And say, okay, there's a friend and that stuff, right? Like, in as much you will try to be friendly, like, you don't know that person.
No.
So just in case they come and ask you, "Oh, Mark, do you know that person?" You say, "Oh yeah, I got to know him through chance, right?"
Yeah.
So there's my point with Christ, right? And why people should always strive to let that, as the Bible says, let your light so shine, right? To for the light to also reflect Christ, because if it reflects Christ, then that means you have a relationship with Christ, and
Yeah.
when you have a relationship with Christ, then that means that you have a place in heaven, because definitely He's not going to take in strangers.
No.
So yeah, so like if that person that introduces you and say, okay, just come to you, say, Mark, I want to pass the night with you, you will be skeptical.
Yeah.
So, but if I come and say, Mark, I want to pass the night with you,
Man, go
I
sleep
mean,
on
go
my
sleep.
bed. Anywhere if I spoil my food.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
So this is how we should be. We should be like as Christians or
Sure.
as young people, right? We
Sure.
should also always strive to have a relationship with Christ, because
Mm-hmm.
like when he coming for his bride, and who is his bride? His closest person.
Mm-hmm.
And because he has relationship, you when somebody will say your bride, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also somebody who you have relationship with.
That bride is even you're talking about bride.
Yeah,
It
bride.
means someone you're spending the rest of your life
with.
Earthly says till death do us part, eternal say forever.
Forever, you see. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that stuff
Sure.
as we discuss about culture.
Yeah.
And then it brings us to lifestyle, right? Because in lifestyle, bro, is big.
Yeah.
Yes, it's big.
Very
Yeah, it's very big. And when I'm talking about lifestyle, I become passionate because I'm someone who's very fashionable, as everybody may know me and all that stuff, right? So I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and then it sent a negative picture because I'm let's say showing another lifestyle, right? So people who hasn't come to that knowledge of understanding, me, all that stuff. So let's just say, how do we narrow lifestyle to relationship with God? Yeah, because if we go that route, then yeah. So how?
Sure.
Yeah.
How we can narrow relationship.
lifestyle with faith, relationship, culture, and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah. If you're my friend, which is the basis of relationship. If I know you, you're my friend, and I'm not going to struggle being around you. I'm talking lifestyle now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to struggle being around you. If I know you and you have a place in my heart and you have a part to play in my life, I'm not going to struggle knowing what you want and what makes you happy and what makes you feel bad and what makes you this. I'm talking lifestyle here.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we relate it to Christ is, you see, the first thing Christ point to us is we should be able to create a lifestyle where we can see ourselves as sons. To them that believe him, he gave them the right to become sons of God. So that it's not going to be a life of act. We're going to become God. We're going to reflect God because we are his sons and his daughters. So how lifestyle can relate to everything is just on the basis of relationship.
Yeah.
Where we don't have to even struggle about doing certain things. It just automatically becomes.
Yeah.
And let me just say this, bro. We were adopted through Christ by God. The Spirit of God is what brings God resemblance in us. And the Spirit of God is what brings God himself in us, that we don't even have to struggle about knowing what he wants or what's going to make him feel bad. I'll give this as a testimony. When I just got saved, I had a lot of struggle. One of the struggles was I was too quick to insult. And it's something I rather use the 4-letter, 5-letter, 6-letter words, And I'm safe.
Yeah.
And I'm safe. Okay, so I was thinking religion first. Oh God, the whole day I pray not to, sin. I pray not to do this.
Yeah.
Before even 11 o'clock finish, I finish doing what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
Until God brings me to his resemblance, which is the Spirit of God in me. Holy Spirit, I pray that you make me as God. I pray that you work your word through me. And surprisingly, I went through a whole day with all using 4-letter word. Even M-A-K, yeah, they use a 4-letter.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Why? Because the Spirit of God brought God lifestyle within, and I just reflected it.
Yeah.
So Knowing God, Christ says, what brings out the lifestyle is when we are God's children.
Yes.
And the Spirit of God is what brings out God resemblance in us. You resemble your father. Oh, you look like your power. You can act like your power. It's the Spirit of God that makes that possible.
Yes.
He makes our lifestyle efficient as God own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I want to say. And it's on the basis of relationship.
Yeah.
The basis of relationship. How well do you know God? That you know what He wants you to do at a particular time. You know, Jesus said, "Oh, no man anything but love."
Yep.
In other words, oh, no man arguing about what you do, who you are, but me.
Mm-hmm.
Know me that you know what I want.
Yeah.
Know me that you know what is it that I'm saying. Know me that you know where I'm sending you. It all boils down to relationship. And the Spirit of God is what makes that real in us.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the lifestyle.
That's the lifestyle.
And that's what we live in every day. We
Definitely.
fall down. We say, Jesus, hey, yo. We say, come on, get up. Who gave you right to fall?
Definitely.
Then we get up.
When we were talking about lifestyle just now, and something came to my mind, and it's in Romans chapter 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. But it also talks about the flesh and all that stuff, that like you cannot be in the flesh and think that you have a relationship with God and that stuff. That so like let's say Romans chapter 8 verse 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what it says: for the law was powerless to do, in that it was weakened by the sinful nature.
Mm-hmm.
God did by sending His own Son in the likeness of sinful men to be a sin offering.
Mm-hmm.
And so He condemned sin in sinful men, in order, that is verse 4,
Mm-hmm.
in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fully met in us.
Mm-hmm.
Then who do not live according to the sinful nature, but according to the Spirit. Like when you talk about the whole thing here, like it's like people and like in your flesh, that people perceive you to be this particular person. You know, you're trying, like in your flesh now, you're trying to, like what you're saying, okay, God, I don't want to cause. I'm like, like, but it was you trying to do God's work for Him.
Yeah.
So like what, and when you reach to that point of epiphany, like you just realize that, oh God, like it's not me again.
Worked.
Yeah. So so just take control.
Yeah.
And now when the Spirit now that for which Christ released when He shared His blood for us.
I like that word, released.
Yeah. That Spirit that Christ released when He shared His blood for us, that Spirit now took effect.
Sure.
And then it show up in your life that, okay, this is who this person is, and he's not that person.
Yeah.
So like now everybody started to see you for who Christ made you to be, and now who you were.
Seriously. And you know what happened? As a result of that,
Mm-hmm.
I think a poor problem.
Yeah.
So we're very careful that they have seen us this way.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't expect us to be that, but deep down within, we know we are human, and
Yes.
it takes the grace of God.
Yes.
So it links us more to the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
God gave me a lifestyle.
Yeah.
God gave me a lifestyle. I remember
Yeah.
every time I read the Bible, the only prayer I pray was, God, help me to live your word.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're already pointing me out there, and I'm scared that I am this.
Yeah.
But like Paul said, Christ condemned sin within us. Not also,
Yeah.
He condemned sin. So every time our fear of God makes Him to keep condemning sin and giving life to the Spirit in us.
Yes.
So the lifestyle is when Christ released Himself in us.
Yeah.
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 It's a lifestyle.
That's a lifestyle.
Or the lifestyle can be when you drive fun too.
Yeah, you know, it also come to that
When
because
you bring the swag,
yeah,
you know.
like, yeah, we're trying to be cool and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
like be cool, be
Yeah.
free, bro.
Ah.
Like, but in all honesty, God is good, and He's, yeah,
Christianity is freedom.
definitely.
It's freedom.
That's the point I want for us to conclude on, right? Like for us to come to the conclusion to understand that in everything we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The faith, the culture,
Mm-hmm.
the lifestyle, everything, it all points to one person, and that is Jesus,
That is.
and the relationship
Jesus.
we have with Him.
You know, my hair crazy.
Mm-hmm.
because we're doing audio, so you're not seeing.
Yeah.
My hair very crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm around so many crazy people. We're doing radical songs,
Yes.
radical music, radical ministry, and one of the things they struggle with is how people see them out there. And I was saying something to one of them. I say, Christianity is freedom, total freedom, freedom to do, freedom to move, freedom to act. But you know who set the boundaries of that freedom is not yourself or what people think. The boundary of that freedom is set by God's standard. So the only thing you should build is a relationship with God.
Yes.
Once you build that relationship, in the relationship with God that set the standard, and say, oh no man, anything but love.
Yes.
So I can grow the crazy hair, I can do everything, but I cannot go out a certain extent because I love God.
Yes.
Relate? And that's a lifestyle.
And so
I don't have to struggle about it.
Yes, the
it's
freedom,
no struggle.
the freedom is there, but then in high quality, like you would like, as there's certain thing the gamblers can call, I'm going all in, right? So like if they just want to set up money, they would say, I think I have a high probability, so I'm going all in. So all the money that they generated and then they will put it in.
Yeah.
But so when you go all in, like sometimes there's a voice in the back of your head, my man, you sure?
That's God's standard that is being set based on relationship.
Definitely.
Okay, like, I know you, I know what makes you angry. Or okay, let me just take this for fun. We're doing young people thing.
Yes.
You very, very much correctative. I know that's the word. Please call it. So whenever I'm dealing with you, the standard that has been set is the fact that when I'm around this guy, I have to be careful how I speak.
Yeah.
You're not telling me
Yes,
but there
yes.
has been a standard, and that's the same way God sets standards in our life, even in our freedom.
Definitely. You know that you have a standard to
Even
meet.
in our freedom. So God said, the simple thing, child. You know the simple thing, child.
Child.
Oh no, man, nothing but love.
But definitely.
That's going to set the standard in your life. And that is a lifestyle. That should be a lifestyle for you. God's standard should be a lifestyle. It all boils down to the relationship.
Yes.
Knowing that it is God at work in you. He said, I am you and you're me.
Yes.
So dine with you.
Yes.
And know that God is in you.
Yes.
Put your fear in God, for it is the beginning of wisdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lifestyle great. I wish I was going to be able to talk about the young people thing, but anyway, that's the foundation.
Yeah.
So I know we'll have time
definitely
to talk about the experiences and
definitely
how we
going
manage.
to have this conversation again. Yes. Watch out for the part 2 of this conversation. It's going to happen. The part 2 of this conversation
To
definitely
give
is going
some
to
of the
happen.
experiences of young people and something I just say at the back and
Yes,
say, God, I thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So, Mike, it has been a pleasure having you here, bro. It's an honor having you here. So,
Can I talk a little bit about fashion? I know I'm not talking plenty because I can drive fan.
Yeah.
I can drive. Yeah. What I can say, and I'm just going to say it, and then in time to come, I know we're going to talk about it in detail. Paul says something as it relates to fashion. Fashion is when you dress and you're not going to impact people negatively. I know it's broad. I know it has a whole lot of discussion, but I know gradually we're going to,
break
dress and impact people positively, that you're not cause them to turn the other way.
Yes.
James, I know I'm hating you.
Yeah. You just struck a nerve, bro. You just struck a nerve, bro.
So it comes with culture. It comes with the people you're with. That's what ethics brings about. When you are around certain people, you dress as diplomats. When you're around this, you dress as this. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Yeah. So Mike, like I said, it's a pleasure having you here, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this another time. So thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, yeah.
Don't catch me by surprise again.
So folks, there you have it. It was a wonderful conversation with my friend and brother Mark. So I hope you enjoyed this segment, and we're going to do more of this next time. So God bless you, keep safe, and I'm out.